nations, man. You're gonna get it. You're gonna bow down. You're gonna bow down.
Shalom. Kol halal Yahweh Ba'asum Yahushua Ba'asum Ruach Wadash. The bonds of the apostles, the bonds of the elders at Great Millstone who rule well and taught me this truth. Much respect to you brothers out there as preaching his word and truth and sincerity. The water folk comes to earth. Tabernacle David, hopeful elect, and the speckled bird to you. I say shalom. As we get into this lesson, right? I'm gonna have this brother play. And hey, we're in these times, man. We in some beautiful times. The Edomite versus the Edomite is playing clear as day right before our very eyes, man. And if that kingdom is divided, as the scriptures say, that kingdom cannot stand, man. Right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get that and I'm gonna play this video. Right? Let's get this right here. Mark 3 and verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand. But what happened in, right? Just as us, the Israelites, we were divided and eventually we fell, right? We went into captivity under these other nations, right? We're seeing that play out right before our very eyes with Esau, Edom, which they've always been against each other. You can even go back to Alexander the Creep and his 4 generals, how when Alexander the Creep's son was to be next in line, they took him out. You know, this is the MO of the Edomites, man. They've always been against each other, you know, they've always been against each other, even when they're in power, right? And eventually, you know, they rise up, they fight amongst themselves and they fall. But this time, this is the last hurrah. This is the last hurrah because as you see with the title, you know, you know how Esau, Edom, and them pew-pews, right? Which is his blessing. They ain't gonna let that go away. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of this video.
Pretty situation. Trump is threatening to take away guns because when a reporter asked him about the
Salakia, fair use. Let me just fast forward it just a little bit.
Second Amendment and how we are entitled to it, he said you can't walk up with guns. You can't have guns. And here's his exact words on that matter. You actually can walk in with guns. It's called the Second Amendment and you're protected by it, especially when you have a permit to carry. You can't just make up new rules to go along with your narrative, but that's exactly...
This is the spirit of the Edomites, man. Salakia, I'm looking for this one picture real quick. Damn, what's his name? Kyle Rittenhauer. There it is, right here. Right? It is right here. Right? Put it in the video. Right? So, you know what I'm saying? Oh boy can have it, and he got away with it. Oh boy can have it, right? It's just the signs of the times, man. The people gonna go crazy, man. People gonna go crazy for it. But hey, the men of old, which is us, Yahweh Ratazah coming back. Hey, we couldn't wait to hear and see these things that is popping off right now, man. So brothers, stay fervent in the spirit, continuing doing the work of the Lord.
exactly why MAGA is turning on Donald Trump, because we are seeing their posts and comments everywhere that they are done with this administration. Like this guy right here saying, I've never been more embarrassed to have been a Trump supporter for the last 10 years than I am right now. I lost countless friends and alienated myself socially in the process. Props to him for being honest and open about his experience. Politics has ruled everything around me. I thought he was different. I really did. I was wrong. This is the America Trump created because he promised MAGA and Americans all these things and then turned his back on them immediately at first moment's notice. Ruled everything around me. I thought he was different. I really did. I was wrong. This is the America Trump created because he promised MAGA and Americans all these things and then turned his back on them immediately at first moment's notice. And now MAGA is turning their back on Donald Trump. He promised Americans free speech and then said, you can't call us Gestapo or Nazis. You can't call us words we don't like or will justify the murder of people like Alex Preddy and Renee Good. And now he's saying you cannot have your Second Amendment right because he doesn't like it. Now Americans have the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, among the other list of constitutional rights that cannot be violated. However, aside from just this, Trump just announced that he wants to fly immigrants in once again to take American jobs. He wants to send them to American colleges and have them stay in the country and take the jobs. This is why MAGA is leaving. Everything Trump has ever said to America about what he wants to do is a lie. He said the immigrants were the and they were taking everybody's jobs, and then he wants to fly them in anyway through H-1Bs and pay them less than he would pay an American to have them work the job that he told MAGA to not go to college for because he called them indoctrination centers. But when
Hey, he spoke as a lamb, right? Hey, it's that lamb, right? Really spoke as a dragon, man. You can't believe these people. They even lie to their own people. And now what we're seeing, their own people are mad on them. It's that E versus E, man. Right before our very eyes. Psalms 58 and verse 2, yea, in heart ye work wickedness, yea, weigh the balance of your hands in the earth. Right? With them been given the blessing of the sword, they have done nothing but violence. They have found destruction and lying. Right? Verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You see? Speaking lies. So it's to the point their own people can't trust and believe them. And this is a recipe for destruction. It's a recipe for the people to go crazy. 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, and other various chapters. This is a recipe for this place to go crazy. And we here for it, man.
they're an immigrant, he calls them a genius. Now, previously, Trump and the Trump administration referred to Alex Preddy as an assassin and a terrorist. However, when he gets asked to his face about this and his rhetoric online to include Stephen Miller, Caroline Levitt, Christy Noem, and this is Stephen Miller himself saying this, an assassin tried to murder federal agents, and this is your response. This is because Chris Murphy said ICE needs to leave Minneapolis. He called the American who was assassinated the assassin. There is nothing but propaganda and gaslight. America has woken up to this. MAGA has woken up to this. It's why they have nobody left. They have shown time and time again they do not care about American lives, and they will use death to their own narrative. And along with the White House calling Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist, here is also video proof of Christy Noem saying it herself out of her own mouth, further trying to spread the narrative that Americans that were killed by ICE and Border Patrol.
Kinda did a lesson on that the other day, man. Right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get this real quick. This is Proverbs 19 and verse 5. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Right? These people have been given all the attributes. You know, if you make a creative character, they have been given all the attributes in lying and in the sword. Right? Everything else they lacking. All right? And they're the most major false witness. Right? They major in being false witness, man. So they was a false witness unto their own people. If he's an Edomite, right? If old boy that got shot was an Edomite, regardless, you know, this is how they moving, right? And they're not going to escape. Judgment is in store for these people. Proverbs 12 and verse 19. The lip of truth shall be established forever, right? These people going to see that what we have is the true fountain of life, right? Jake is going to find out, right? What we have is the truth, man. The whole world's going to find out what we have is the truth. And we're going to remain blameless in the eyes of the Lord. See, because we understand this ain't our fight, man. If you a Jake and you going out there protesting, you a dumbass, man. This is Esau Edom's fight. Let them do what they do, man. Our job is to stay out there on the highways and byways, preach this word, and do these lessons, right? Let's see. Shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Yeah, your reign and rule under this wicked ass rulership is only going to be but for a moment. Proverbs 12 and verse 22. Lying lips are abomination unto the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah. But they that deal truly are his delight. Right? The Lord ain't dealing with that lying. Right? As you get in Proverbs 6, these 6 things in which the Lord hates. Right? Lying is on there, man. And it's mainly talking about the spirit of Esau Edom and how he moves and conducts himself.
Deserved it. Let's take a look at this clip.
The White House has labeled the man who was killed in Minnesota as a domestic terrorist. Is that something you agree with? And have you seen any evidence to
when you
back up that claim?
perpetuate violence against a government because of ideological reasons and for reasons to resist and perpetuate violence, that is the definition of domestic terrorism. This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism.
There you have it. The Trump administration officially wants to remove your Second Amendment right. Because if you exercise that Second Amendment right, apparently you're now a would-be assassin and a domestic terrorist. So if they kill you as a result of your constitutional rights, but it doesn't fit their narrative, they'll just make up a new rule around it and make an excuse for your death. And that is why MAGA and lawmakers are turning on Trump to include governors that were running for government positions in states such as Minnesota. They have said themselves that the Republican Party has made it impossible for Republicans to get a position of power in America because of these narratives. Because when Trump is asked about Alex Preddy and Renee Good, he calls them distractions. They are nuisances to Trump's everyday life. Let's take a look at this clip of him saying this himself.
That a lot of what's going on with respect to Minneapolis, with what's happening with all the hoopla.
Slacky. Hey, we're seeing the times right in front of our very faces, right? Let me get this in the camera, right? Signs of the times, man. Right? Matter of fact, I just there's a video, YouTube short of Plies saying that he spent $400 or $500 at the grocery store, and that barely bought him anything. Back then, if you was to spend $300, $400 at the grocery store, your whole trunk will be packed. Your whole car will be packed, right? These are the signs of the times, the deterioration of Babylon the Great, that wormwood, right? The deterioration of Babylon the Great right before our very eyes, man. Call Allah Yahweh Shmi Shah. Let me look up this scripture real quick. Let me see. This is Matthew 13 and verse 17. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them. Once again, the price of gold. Get that in the camera, right? Signs of the times, man. But hey, the elect ain't going to be shaken. The elect is going to be giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemi Shah. And we're patiently waiting for the full collapse of Babylon the Great. And it's happening right before our very eyes.
And so people don't talk about
it's a distraction?
I've said it from day one. It's a distraction because what you don't see is that we have hundreds of accountants from Todd and from all of the different people. We have hundreds of accountants going over everything that's happening. And we're finding fraud on top of fraud on top of fraud.
Narrative, propaganda, distraction. Where are the Epstein files, Donald Trump? As a matter of fact, where is your care or sympathy for these Americans who did not deserve to die? Where's the protection and leadership from the president when people need the president the most? And why are you okay with this chaos? Is it because the chaos serves as another distraction for your own narrative? The problem with this is because Trump is still not disciplined ICE nor Border Patrol, they have been getting more and more violent, which led to the death of Alex Preddy, and they think they can get away with more because just today, another ICE agent just threatened to murder a man while he was being recorded. He didn't even fear what was going to happen from the camera being on. Let's take a look at this clip, saying he's going to erase his voice.
I will tell you this, brother. What? I will tell you this. You raise your voice, I raise your voice.
If I raise my voice, you'll erase my...
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Are you serious? You said if I raise my voice, you'll erase my voice?
They are proudly and loudly threatening murder because Donald Trump has not disciplined them or trained them properly. He's also given them the message that not only does he tolerate their violence, it's almost
Ooh. Hey, the signs of the times, man. The people gonna go crazy, man. And sure, I'm gonna have to get that scripture, man. 2 Ezra 15. Y'all know where I'm going. If you raise your voice, I will erase your voice. All right? That's going to get the people going to go crazy soon. 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe, destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? It can be actual swords. The modern day sword is a gun, but it can be chainsaws, bats, all types of material the people is going to find to pick up and do damage out here, right? For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. We're seeing right in front of our faces, man. This is possibly one of the reasons in which the people are going to lift up arms and go crazy out here, man. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. Why? Because of the pride. Because their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So what about the women and children? If the men are going to be afraid, most definitely the women and children are going to be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their goods. It's like you destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. These days are coming, man. And we just kind of got a glimpse of that with the snowstorm. All the people buying up. Matter of fact, I may show some pictures. All the people buying up all the food, but if you didn't properly prepare for it, you might have been hungry for a couple days. Let me see if I find some pictures. And I may close out on that, right? Yeah, man, always changing stuff. Let me see. I need camera roll. Slocky. Bear with me real quick. Because they always changing something, man. Let me see. Live photos. There we go. Right. We just gonna use this one right here. You know what I'm saying? Go to the grocery store. They tore that mug up. Empty. Let's see if I got some more. Right. It's empty. You know what I'm saying? If you go to the milk section, empty. Go to the meat section, it's empty, man. But hey, the men of the Lord is going to be protected. The elect is going to be protected. Hey, as I had that dream a couple weeks ago, a month ago or so, hey, my servant shall eat, man. But yeah, I just want to highlight this video real quick. Y'all right, desires to edifying lesson. Shalom.